Hey guys, I'm Jase at Jase Outdoors. In this video, I'm on a hunt to fill my first turkey tag of the season. And after a week of filming everyone else killing them, I just couldn't wait to be pulling that trigger. We started off in a small pasture where we scouted the night before. We knew there was turkeys there. And right off the roost, we had 5 jakes show up. And 3 of them ended up coming right to us. The longbeards eventually showed up, but they did not want to come anywhere near those jakes. But we got out of there pretty quickly and we headed to another farm. And as we're walking down the lane, we spotted a flock of turkeys out there. So we had to make a big loop around. I set up the decoys probably only about 10 steps away and sit down and I start working these birds. Now I called at these birds for quite some time and I wasn't sure if these birds could ever really hear me because they're way out across this field and the field drops down a slope and they're on the bottom of that hill. And I figured the best thing to do is just go right at them, cut the distance in half, and get to a point where I know they could hear me calling.
They're gonna come up around this bottom, I think.
So I cut the distance in half and I called right at these birds, and there was no doubt they heard me this time because they gobbled. It sounded like I was right on top of them, and he must have gobbled 10 times in a row, and I had to go running back to my spot. And sure enough, it wasn't much longer. We could see one kind of pop its head up over the hill, and you could see that they were jakes. So here we go again. I'm like, what's up with all these jakes? But if you look to the right of the frame, you see a big old white head come walking in there, and you could tell right away it was a longbeard when he went into strut.
Here you go. I'll let him play a little bit. Yes! Whew! Cow! That was awesome. Yeah, buddy. Whew! Yes! I think I burned it, man.
Yeah!
Awesome, bro.
Woo! Oh. Man, I get me jacked up every freaking time. I'm tore up, baby. That was awesome. He started going to the left, and I'm like, oh no, because I had all this stuff here. I'm like, it's going to be very close before I'm not going to be able to see him. And he turned and just came right down here. And I've gone through so many where I had to let go or they just weren't quite in range, and you're like, wait. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I ain't waiting too long, I can tell you that. That's awesome. Oh, man. That was cool. I wasn't sure. I walked over there, I thought they might have been long gone, came back, and you guys were like, I heard him down over the hill. Like, what? Ran back over. He gobbled, I mean, it had to be 10 times in a row. It was insane. He just, I wasn't sure, because we got hosed earlier this morning by a bunch of jakes. I wasn't sure if these jakes were gonna do the same thing, but he seemed to kind of run them off, so I figured maybe once he saw this decoy, it was game on. And you can almost tell when he's seen it, man. His head went up and he came right to it. That's awesome. Yeah. Woo! I think the whole key to success on this hunt was getting up and closing the distance, you know, cutting it in half so that they could hear me calling. You know, I got to a spot, I knew they couldn't see me. I called down over them and just, you know, instantly, you know, they responded. They gobbled like 10 times in a row and, you know, they just came right up over that hill. With filming and, you know, all the decoys set up, you know, we could have picked up and just moved closer. But it's really hard to do that, especially when you have a couple guys with you and getting everybody set. We knew we were in a good spot, so we just hung it out. But if you're by yourself hunting and you can close the distance in half, sometimes that's enough to make them break. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you like this video, if you can give it a like, appreciate it. And if you could subscribe, if I can get enough of a following, I'm going to do a lot more of these videos on how to. But just, you know, get out there, you know, hunt hard. Because really, in the end, you know, all you can do is try.